So let me share the screen and we'll get to parachute2 this time. Okay, so you see the organization of the data now. We have the suppliers, 4 suppliers. That's factor B, and we have factor A, the type of loom being used in the weaving process. Okay, and we have 5 observations each, so total of 8 cells again, experimental conditions, and 5 observations each. So this time let's use the multiple samples. Choose two-way with replication and choose our data. And this time I'll also want to have a cell means plot because that looks nice. First cell contains label. And apart from that, everything is fine. So we have the result. Okay, so averages of strength from supplier 1, from supplier 2. Again, the highest actually is from supplier 3, lowest from supplier 1. And these are the averages for one type of loom, Jetta loom, and these are the averages for the Turkish loom. Okay, and here we see again that the general average for one type of loom is greater, 21.9, but very, very small difference. You can see it right here. Now, when we look at the sources of variation and sample, this is the type of loom. So this is the factor with 2 levels, therefore degrees of freedom is 1. Columns, it refers to the supplier. So factor B, 4 levels, so degrees of freedom is 3. Interaction effect, 1 times 3. Within or error, it's actually 2 times 4 multiplied by number of values in each cell, minus 1. So that's 32. And now when we look at the effects, the p-values, so what we see here that the contribution of the type of loom has no effect on the strength. So this is rejected p-value of 0.37. So if we use alpha level of 0.05, we conclude there is no effect due to type of loom. Type of supplier still has an effect. Remember our first example, parachute supplier had an effect. And also here we see supplier has an effect, type of supplier has an effect on the strength, rejected at 0.05. What about interaction? And we see interaction is not present. Okay, so here again, the supplier is important, but not the type of loom being used. Looking at the cell means, we also see this, a graph of the means of the 5 observations in each experimental configuration. So what you see here again is you have different suppliers. There is sometimes an increase and then a drop, but within the type of loom, the difference is so small. So that's why we have we do not find a significant effect of type of loom being used, but supplier is also found to be affected. So if we could actually do switch row and column, we also have now the type of loom shown here, okay, with the suppliers being shown in the vertical axis. So if you want to see, you know, the reason that type of loom was rejected, because going from 1 to 2, you see there is very little difference, very little change, very little. Although there is a little bit increase in the strength when you go from one type of loom to the other, that's not significant. And you can see it right here, but within the suppliers, and the blue one is the lowest strength, and the red one, supplier 2, has the highest strength, and we can see that in the means plots, which is rather useful. There is no, here we don't do really a test of significance, but we can actually see graphically the 2 factors, and we can switch rows and columns, and we can create a cell means plot in different ways. Okay.